What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993. We're back here for some more baseball news. As at this time, as of today, I have just 5 more topics I would like to cover to catch up on. And one of them was one that I originally thought, nah, don't worry about it. But then I thought, I better talk about this one because this was, in my opinion, one of the best relievers in the game within the past 10 years. Of course, injuries harmed that as he went on a 5-year run as, of course, probably the best setup man in Major League Baseball. Only reason why he wasn't a closer is because he was setting up who? Aroldis Chapman with the Yankees. And then, unfortunately, injuries derailed him, sadly. But reliever Dellin Betances, a 4-time All-Star, back in August, announced that he is retiring from Major League Baseball. He's just 34 years old also, too. He has spent parts of 11 seasons with the Yankees and the Mets, and he was in the Dodgers minor league organization this year where he struggled very badly, apparently. He was originally drafted as a starter in 2008, but his command issues eventually led Betances, though, to more of a relief role. He made just one start as a starting pitcher, which came back in 2011. But of course, him being moved to the bullpen was the best thing that happened to him for his major league career. I mean, any other team, he would have been a closer for sure. Although some people have had a history of being excellent in the setup role, but just couldn't handle the closer's role, such as former major leaguer Carlos Marmol. I remember he was a lights out pitcher from the setup role. He was a closer, though. He struggled mightily. But maybe that would have been the case for Dellin Betances. Dellin Betances, though, I wouldn't compare him to Joel Zumaya, though, the former setup man for the Tigers. He was an excellent pitcher, but injuries derailed him. I think he had 2 or 3 severe elbow injuries, something like that. Anyways, though, Betances had his best season for sure in 2014. He threw 90 innings, over 70 relief appearances, and registered an ERA of just $1.40. $1.40. That's pretty darn incredible, of course. And he had an incredible strikeout rate, only 7% walk rate, and a 46.6% ground ball rate. And that season, he finished 3rd in the American League Rookie of the Year voting. Of course, that would go to Jose Abreu. He trailed him and Matt Shoemaker. And of course, that was his best season, but then he had a great 5-year span from there until 2018. He threw 374 innings, an average of almost 75 per season, and had a combined 2.21 ERA, striking out 40.4% of the batters he faced, only walking 10.7% of them. And then again, he literally had some of the best numbers, including 11.3 wins above replacement during that stretch. And the only 2 pitchers who had a better mark than he did in that category was Kenley Jansen and his and the closer for the Yankees himself, Aroldis Chapman. So, like I said, he probably would have had to prove he could handle the role, of course. But had he been somewhere else, Betances would have been a lights out closer. Again, in that span, he had made 4 consecutive All-Star appearances, as he, of course, deserved. Sadly, though, injuries began to just derail him. In 2019, he began the year on the injury list due to a shoulder impingement, and he wasn't able to make his season debut, though, until September. Unfortunately, 2/3 of an inning later, he tore his Achilles. And then, of course, he would then hit free agency because he had lost essentially that entire season. He hit free agency and he was a high touted reliever, and he was picked up by their crosstown Subway Series rival, the New York Mets. Unfortunately, though, it did not go well for him. He ended up getting into 15 games with the Mets, but then struggled with a 7.71 ERA in that shortened 2020 season. Ouch. That's very painful. And all of his his velocity ratings were going down, his walk ratios were going up, and then of course he then was placed on the injured list at the end of August and couldn't return due to a lat strain as well. And in 2021, he threw just 1 inning for the Mets, which came on April 7th. He would go down as his last appearance in the majors. He went injured after that with, again, a shoulder impingement, and eventually required season-ending surgery. And, of course, he became a free agent, and before this season, he signed a minor league deal with the Dodgers to give him another chance. But, of course, even in the minors, he just couldn't crack it. He logged a 10.26 ERA in the minors this year in 16 2/3 of an inning. And then that's when he just said, I'm done. Which is, again, very unfortunate. Like I said, he was, in fact, in that between 2014 and 2018, probably the best setup man in baseball for sure. But of course, you'll be remembering him for that 5-year run. He finished his career with 394 1/3 innings pitched in 374 games. He had a 2.53 ERA, just 36 career saves, 121 holds, and 633 strikeouts. Quite a lot for over 394 1/3 innings. So definitely, only 34 years old. He's already having to hang him up because of injuries. That sucks. Definitely, again, I couldn't pass up on not wishing this guy best. One of the best setup man in the past 10 years for sure. And like I said, there's been some like him, or Joel Zamaya for the Tigers, who again was just incredible. But I mean, Betances, it was mainly shoulder injuries. Zamaya he had like 2 or 3 elbow injuries, something like that, which is much more worse, of course, because those are probably Tommy Johns and whatnot. But definitely thought he was one of the best relief pitchers in the league. Again, it is hard, when you're a relief pitcher though, to get noticed, especially because you're not like a closer and a setup manager and second best thing. Most of the all-star relievers are closers, which you would expect, of course. So there's not too many people who could not be a closer in the relief pitching role and still stand out and get all-star nod. Again, any other team he was on, Dellin Betances would have easily been a closer. But, he definitely had an excellent career. Again, unfortunately, he got cut short to injuries. But I definitely wish him the best in his retirement. I hope he enjoys it and stays healthy, of course, with his injuries. And, of course, maybe we'll see him again as a pitching coach or something. We'll have to wait and see. But, yes, congratulations on an excellent career to former reliever, Yankees setup man, all-star, 4-time all-star, Dellin Betances. So, guys, that's my thoughts on Betances announcing his retirement back in August. What are your thoughts on Dellin Betances' career and him announcing his retirement as well? Do you got any favorite Dellin Betances memories you'd like to share? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at TheManAirboy93. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your day. And peace out, everybody.